In Flanders, there were virtually no part-time firefighters to work. So the full-timers were putting in all those hours on the weekend. And it's just the direct opposite in Niantic. There's plenty of part-timers, and that's where the money went on the storm deal. And I believe that's the case, from my recollection of how all of that went down, because they were actually working weekends in Flanders because they had no one to work. A couple of injuries and a couple of people that had to leave town or whatever. They didn't have anything to work up there. So I think that's the biggest part of that. The difference between Flanders being full, going one way, and Niantic going the other way. And in Station 2, we also, remember, we put on the full-time during the week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that definitely changed the landscape on how those storm issues went, because they actually were double manning all of those stations. So I think it's just the reality of how we had to deal with that.
Okay. Of course, I was thinking about budgetary implications as related to this present year's budget. You know, as to whether we perhaps had underestimated the amount of money that was needed for those departments. And finally, under Parks and Rec, we have a switch from maintenance to part-time seasonal, and also that's a minimum of overtime, but quite a large increase in utilities and electricity. And I'm wondering how much of this is the result of bringing on the new beach? Do you have any way of knowing that?
That shouldn't have had an impact at the end of last year, the beach at all.
It's an additional $3,000 in part-time seasonal labor, so.
Okay, well, I do know that this year they were hit really hard with all the rain, and so they had to have the staff come in and do mowing on Saturdays to get the fields ready for various programs that Parks and Rec has, so that was part of it. I know they were hit very hard on that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Johnson? I have one question for you. Did you have an estimate of how much money the town budget will return unspent to the general fund? Do you have a rough guess?
Between $700,000 and $800,000.
Unspent?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions regarding these transfers? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. The next item is a special appropriation from the Board of Education regarding their capital budget. You have an itemized list of this in front of you. This calls for a wing sprinkler installation extension of $15,028, a high school domestic hot water gas conversion to take advantage of the new fuel there, $45,500, $27,607 for repairs to the athletic wing hallways. The bleachers in the north gym will finally get replaced, $102,800, and then Lily B. Haynes, an electric upgrade for $18,138, and then a contingency, which I imagine is for the entire project, $12,414. These are consistent with the capital improvement plan and funded by $141,487 from rental fees collected from Learn that they pay to the Board of Education, and the $80,000 from the East Lyme High School roof construction settlement. You may remember when they were repairing that roof and opened up the roof on this beautiful sunny day, and this one cloud came over and dumped all the water on the gym floor. So we did get a settlement for that because there was provisions in the contract to protect the town from that. And that money, while the floor has been fixed and has done a great job since then, but the bleachers are in need of upgrade, and this will pay for new bleachers. So this money is money that we have and spent, and Ted is here, Ted Hunt, Don Meltenberger, and the superintendent of schools, should we have any specific questions regarding this particular proposal.
We'll make a motion, then we can have discussion. Whereas the Board of Selectmen, upon recommendation of the Board of Education, has determined that a true and very real need exists for the purchase and installation for the capital improvement projects described above. Be it resolved to approve a special appropriation to the Board of Education in the amount of $221,487 in the CNRE Fund 32 for the purpose of 1, East Lyme High School A-Wing sprinkler installation extension, which is $15,028. Number 2, East Lyme High School domestic hot water gas conversion, $45,500. Number 3, East Lyme High School athletic wing hallways, $27,607. Number 4, East Lyme High School bleachers north gym, $102,800. And 5, Lily B. Haynes electric upgrade, $18,138, and a $12,414 allowance for contingency, and forward to the Board of Finance for their approval. The source of funds will be $80,000 from the East Lyme High School roof construction settlement and $141,487 from the Learn rental fees. These projects are consistent with the 214 capital improvement plan as already adopted.
Second.
Made and seconded. Is there discussion on this item? Mr. Wilson?
I don't know. Don? Maybe you can come up. Everything explains everything, but the athletic wing 27607, what are we doing there?
If you walk into the wing there, you notice the roof is all like metal.
Yeah, where
There's no
they've all
tiles.
banged it out, and
Yeah.
now they just put the basically chicken wire up there? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We'd like to put a real ceiling in there.
and have them bang it out again?
Well, I think it's different. I believe.
Believe me,
a little
we all
bit-
jumped up there and knocked those tiles out over the years. I'm just,
Well, you have
what
your-
I'm getting at is,
you have
I
your-
just wondered what we're gonna put in its
Are
place.
you willing to pay for some of that
I know
damage that you did?
mine has been probably paid over for a number of years.
Some of this I believe, but I've been told, because I wasn't here historically when it hasn't happened. I've been here about 8 years, and we haven't done anything recently.
No, it's been
But I
that
think
way
it had
for a
to do
while.
with the band being in here, Ted, and things like that. They had these, flags and stuff in there.
Yeah, they,
Poke holes and things like that. If you noticed, Steve Hargis has really finished off that hallway
the
down.
hallway's beautiful with all the,
All our
the-
trophies and
yeah.
every cases and everything like that.
that's
So
what I was wondering.
He would like to make the rest of it, make it look nice, because it looks kind of not very
So it's
nice.
some kind of a ceiling that's going to be
It'll be a drop ceiling. and
durable.
Bring the lights back down, yes.
Okay. And the,
So it is going to be a drop, I'm sorry, not to
Yeah, that's
interrupt,
what
but
I-
it is going to be a drop ceiling,
Yes.
ceiling tiles that can be popped out again.
Yes.
Okay. You can continue.
yeah, exactly, yeah, well, they'll deal with it, because we won't.
We'll pay for it.
What's the bleachers going to look like?
I believe you have a picture in your book,
Um,
you guys.
We don't have books.
We
That
didn't
was
do
from,
books
that was from the last
a long
meeting.
time ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I'm just, were they the
Got it.
wood ones again?
Lisa?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, the metal with the ends that I see in
Right.
a bunch of gyms now.
Yes.
Yeah. With the
Yeah.
handrails and all of that stuff.
Right, they're handicapped.
Yep, handicap accessible, and then you get a spot
Yes.
for it.
You can see the pictures of the side railings and stuff like that, and the boards underneath where people can't slip through, and
Right, right. Okay.
et cetera, et
That's one,
cetera.
well,
School's been in session for, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, go ahead.
You done? School's been in session for about 3 or 4 days, and now we're going to approve some improvements. This won't be done during, will this be interrupting any kind of sports activity at all?
Now, some of these will be done will have to be done during vacation time, right? Because
Right, I've
we're
lost
hoping
an-
to do this during the summer, but the meeting was canceled, so we got deferred till September.
All right, so we shouldn't have a problem with the gym and basketball season and
We'll have to work around.
volleyball season.
We'll have to work out the scheduling on this. It may, I hate to say it, may not make basketball at this late date.
I mean, we can use what we have
Yeah.
and find the right time to do it, right?
Right.
Better
Yeah.
not to,
Because, I mean, I
Lose the
just
season.
assume that, I mean, it's great money being spent, and it's the right thing to do, but I just can't see us,
Yeah.
we've tried to work around everything else.
Yes, if we had done it in the summer, we would have gotten it by
Right, I
basketball
understand.
season. But now, it probably may be after basketball season by the time we get this done.
okay.
What about the disposition of the bleachers, where, the current bleachers? The contractor takes them?
Yes, that's,
part
it's
of
in the
the
fee.
Contract?
Yes, they take them away.
We could put one set right on the back of the wall here,
There you go.
pull them out.
Mhm.
Nice. A little nostalgia, yeah.
Further discussion on this item?
Yes, not on that,
Sorry.
well, on the general item. I noticed in your comment that you're waiving some of the ADA code compliance pending what happens with the facilities report. So-
That, and also, these are a lot of small items, when, Ted did his budget originally. There's door handles, there's painting on pavements, there's handrails and things like that. It's not like I could go to one vendor like I can for a hot water heater or something like that and get a bid on it. There are a lot of individual projects. We feel that we could probably do some of those on our own as we go forward.
All right, so I'm curious, is the electric upgrade at Haynes,
Yes.
is that an emergency matter?
It's a health and safety issue. You now know we have full-day kindergarten. We've moved a lot of classrooms around. And this is on the east side of the building, which is the side where the sun comes up,
Mhm.
and it gets very hot. And we do not have electricity to support air conditioning on that side. A lot of times the children and teachers have to move over into cafeteria or into the library during really hot days. And in addition to that, we're also putting up smart boards, which requires more electricity. And some of the classrooms, I think it's third and fourth grades we're moving on that side, have more computers involved and things like that. So there's going to be more electrical load.
Well, as the future of the school
Mhm.
is somewhat tenuous, depending on what plans are
Yes.
decided upon, the board feels that the $18,000 still needs to be expended.
From my own personal point of view, and that's Ted too, we've experienced, from a health and safety point of view, not that I don't care about smart boards or computers, I really would like to have them have air conditioning in there. It's, every year we go through it where they have to go to other places because it's too warm to work on that side of the school. So I think it's more of a safety issue, and it's not, everything's relative, but it's not a significant amount of money. We're not talking hundreds of thousands of dollars here.
Thank you.
Further comments? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstain?
I did not abstain because I do not feel that I stand to benefit any more than any other taxpayer from these additions. So I do not feel I had a conflict of interest.
Okay.
I'd like to
So-
thank the board, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
The next item is discussion bamboo. We've had a couple of topics of public delegation with regard to bamboo. We've had some interest in it. There's been a number of communities throughout probably the state and the country that are dealing with bamboo. I think that none of us have any particular expertise when it comes to bamboo, and we've gathered some information as a result of what people have given us. So instead of discussing the merits of bamboo from those of us sitting here who may not have the opportunity to study the issue, I'm suggesting that we form a subcommittee to look into bamboo, one, to identify the particular species that we may want to target, and two, to perhaps identify some current communities that have dealt with this in terms of passing regulations or rules or ordinances, and then we can bring it to back to the board here for further discussion and merit. That's a suggestion I make. It's entirely up to the board's group conscience, and I open it up for discussion at this point.
Well, might I offer another suggestion, and that would be that we remand this to the Commission of Natural Resources to study the issue and then report back to us with a recommendation.
Who is the ex officio of that?
Me.
Okay.
As long as Roseanne's volunteering herself, I think
I
that's a
think
great
this is an
idea.
excellent idea.
Plus,
Great.
I
Take
think
it on.
that's a commission that would have a little more knowledge of the
appropriate.
subject area as well too. And I know our town planner, I know Gary went to listened to a seminar and so forth like that. It'd be great to, get them involved too, and then come back to us with some recommendations.
I mean, that's fine with me, as long as we know that they'll move it along, and I guess with Ms. Hardy at
Oh,
the
there's no
ex
doubt in my
officio
mind.
seat, that
No doubt.
they will have this opportunity to.
In the same way bamboo grows, that's the way that report will be here in no time.
I'll be here in 40 feet.
All right. So for those folks that may be interested in following the results of this is the Commission for Conservation of Natural Resources that is chaired by Mr. Carlson.
Correct?
They meet on what night?
They meet on the,
Wednesday? Tuesday?
the third, I don't know.
Third.
All right.
There's so many. I
So
think it's
the-
the
it
second.
is, whatever they
second
meet,
Tuesday.
it'll be posted in agenda, it will be listed on the agenda for conversation, and they will, unbeknownst to them, be the
It
leaders
is
in
the
the
third
band.
Wednesday,
All right.
third Wednesday of the month.
All right, so
Let me hear.
unbeknownst to
Mhm.
them, they will become the resident experts in bamboo, and will monitor their progress and then bring it forward periodically on our agenda to determine what best next steps would be, okay?
Would you like to send them a letter asking them to take this on?
Are we asking them?
Or we're directing them?
Okay.
No doubt
Sure.
Art's watching right now. We can just tell
Yes.
him.
All right.
Now he knows.
All right, so.
Can we just forward them all of this information that we've got?
Yeah, so I
the
will
packet.
send a letter to them suggesting the ex officio suggestion for them. And we'll go from there.
Thank you, Roseanne.
Thank you, Roseanne.
All right, the next item then would
Get
be
you
discussion
info.
of the Yale Outdoor Education Center trails. You may or may not know, we've had conversations that Mr. Carlson initiated from that same committee to expand walking paths through open space, and one particular piece of property was the Yale property. We had some conversations with them, Mr. Carlson had some conversations with them, and they the way that it played out, that Yale wanted us to do in terms of this contract would not protect us from the recreational use statute, so we've been kind of holding back on moving forward with this. And I think this evening I have put the information in your packet so that you can keep up to date with that. There is a note to me from Attorney Collins, who is here and can expand on anything that I've said, but I think we're at the point now where I need to reach out to somebody in Yale and ask them whether they're going to accept our proposal, which is to have us rent the property for $1 a year, which we've determined legally will cover the town under the recreational statute. And the recreational statute was passed a few years ago to protect landowners from liability for recreational use, in particular municipalities. So when people open up their properties to things such as walking paths or baseball fields, then there was no protection until the passage of this act, and so I think it makes sense that we move this down the road. Did I synopsize that well enough?
I think that's a good idea, renting and then having it covered under the town's insurance.
Well, it wouldn't be covered under the town's insurance so much as it would be protected under a state statute.
Mhm.
Right? So,
Yes, and we did ask Kerma for an advisory opinion, and they agreed that the town would not be covered by the recreational use statute, and they advised us against entering into this agreement.
So, we would not be covered, but if we pay them $1 a year, we would then be covered?
Yeah, what Yale is doing is they're calling us a licensee, and licensees are not covered
But if
under
we
the
were a
statute.
lessee,
If we were a lessee,
all right,
we would,
be covered. All
yes.
right.
Mm.
Makes sense.
Okay.
okay, so that's kind of an update. Any further conversations, and we'll kind of
More to come.
More to come.
move through that and we'll keep you posted. The next item is a seat resolution. We've been following this for the last few years. The Southeastern Connecticut, Southeastern Area Transit Group, which operates the seat buses, the public bus system that goes through there, of which East Lyme is one of the 9 member towns. The Council of Governments, which represents 20 towns, 2 tribal nations, and the military installations in southeastern Connecticut, have an interest in SEAT in being a regional entity, a true regional entity is one, and number two, there were some problems in terms of management and a fuel spill that potentially may have made some of the member towns liable for costs. So there was discussion in and amongst SEAT, the state of Connecticut DOT, and the Council of Governments about the DOT taking over a more active role in the management of SEAT, which they have done, and they have changed managers and have taken a more active role, and they have paid for the cost of the cleanup. So what the Council of Government did is pass a resolution, which you have in your packet, that basically states that they are encouraging all member municipalities to join the Southeastern Area Transit District in an effort to really develop a true regional transit service, and as part of that, to replace the members of the advisory board with the chief elected officials of each community. And they believe, the COG believes that by doing so, the Connecticut Department of Transportation would give greater credence to the voices of the chief elected officials as they are advisory members of SEAT than they would SEAT board representatives from those towns. So I have provided in your packet this evening a laundry list of all of the items of SEAT bylaws and the resolution that was passed by the Council of Governments. But the only thing that we're asking of you is, upon the resignation of our SEAT Advisory Board member, in this case Mr. Sestair, that you would pass a resolution appointing me or the first selectman to be that member of the advisory board, and that's really what the action is. I've called Mr. Sestair a couple of times. He must be away on vacation. I've not been able to reach him over the summer, so.
So
that's
so
kind of
he
where-
has resigned.
Huh?
He has resigned.
I don't believe that he has. I haven't received the letter, but he has offered to resign should this, way back when, should this process move forward. So I don't think it's a problem, but the motion I think that we have is contingent upon receiving his resignation letter, then the appointment be made. But
So I'll make a resolution?
that's,
A motion?
if you like, and then we could have further
Well,
discussion.
we don't have, well, all right.
This is a resolution regarding the governance of the Southeastern Area Transit
What do you make, just a motion?
right here. Oh, this is,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
that's
a
all right.
short
We
one.
don't need
this is
that.
it here?
We don't need it,
Okay.
We need the short one.
Then be it resolved that upon the town clerk's receipt of a notice of resignation from the town's current representative to the Southeastern Transit Board of Directors, the Board of Selectmen hereby appoints First Selectman Paul Formica as the town's representative on said board.
Second.
All right, so motion and second, just for clarification, a lot of the stuff that you have in the resolution, we are already a member of SEAT.
Right.
So we don't need to resolve any of that other stuff or deal with all that. I just gave you that so that you would have sufficient background for your files as this moves forward. You're already seeing, I think, some of the things from SEAT. As you know, they're proposing a very aggressive bus route that would help move people to the community college up there, so there's some new activity that's occurring, so.
so
motion has been
this was
made and seconded.
updated in June of this year. And then it still encompasses what you included with us, which is dated 2010.
Well, I just gave you history.
All right, so the resolution that we're approving is the one that's dated for July 2013.
No, that's not correct. That, you're not approving the resolution. You are approving, the motion on the floor is that once the representative, in this case, Mr. Sestair, resigns,
Excuse me.
then you will have appointed me in his place.
All right.
The other stuff, this is a resolution from the Council of Governments that they made, and I voted in the affirmative on this as one of my vote, one of 20 there that happened. It's just background information for you to have.
All right, well, I noticed that it's a draft. So is there further further things that are going to come back to us, or is this just,
This is it.
This is it.
This shouldn't say draft. I don't know why you got the draft piece.
okay,
Should have got, I think,
All we're doing is exchanging,
We're exchanging people.
Kent
You for Kent.
Paul, yeah,
Yeah.
Paul for Kent.
that's
okay?
the only
Yeah, yeah.
that we're asking upon.
Paying for him.
Yeah, or your representative at the time.
Right.
Okay, very good.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. The next item is a special appropriation for the steep grant, $500,000 for the purposes of repairs to the boardwalk. You may know that over the past 6 years, we have received steep grants almost annually and have used them to upgrade the downtown village district. We have one pending steep grant that has already been approved by the local authorities here, our board, the Board of Finance, in a town meeting, that will move up Pennsylvania Avenue a little bit and redo those sidewalks and install new streetlights. But we continue to apply for new steep grants as they come out, and this year, we were fortunate enough to be awarded a $500,000 steep grant, which we moved to, away from the village repair, and moved it to the repair of the Niantic Boardwalk, knowing that we would most likely need some funds to do so. We were awarded that grant, and it must go through the appropriations process, which is our a vote by our board, a vote by the Board of Finance, and I believe this requires a town meeting. Currently, we have been collecting funds to repair our half of the boardwalk, the half of the boardwalk that the Amtrak renovation repaired is complete and is open. Cheney Park is open for increased parking. What we propose to apply this $500,000 toward is a list of dollars that we've accumulated. There's been approximately $1,500,000 from the lawsuit settlement, the $500,000 here from the steep grant, insurance payment after Irene for $1,722,000 roughly, and then we just received last week an insurance settlement as a result of the damage from Sandy of $1,151,000. For a total of little over $4.7 million. We have monies out for design. We'd like to get a bid process going, and there will be some money, so the immediate use of some of these funds will be to pay for some of those bidding documents and the design, which is about complete. I have scheduled a meeting tomorrow with Amtrak, Congressman Courtney's office, and our engineers to talk about the participation of Amtrak in some of the damage that they have incurred in the storms as a result of the boardwalk not being there. Some of their revetment was pulled away, and they also have to provide trackmen and flagmen and safety personnel because we'll be working within a particular number of feet of the track. So this money will go to additionally compile the money that we need to fix it, and it will move us along the road of getting the design complete and the bid process complete, and I hope construction, Mr. Shear, in the next 60 days might be underway, depending on the participation of Amtrak and the bid process. 60, 90 days, maybe even farther. Tell me give me a number
For
so I
real.
can know what to tell the folks.
I talk on February?
November, December.
Okay.
It's
September, October, November, 90 days.
Yeah.
It's when you
This-
deal with an engineer, you have to be so precise. That's what,
Yes.
But anyway, we're gonna get it as soon as we possibly can, and hopefully that we'll have it open by the May, season of next year.
So I presume until we go out to bid, we will not have an idea